Right, we've got a very positive live stream today. As you can read from today's title, as you can see from today's thumbnail, Mancini has renewed his contract with Roma until 2027, which is massive news. Now, in this live stream, we'll cover this, which is the big news of over the course, which happened over the course of today. We'll talk about Mancini renewing his contract, and we'll also talk about these last few hours remaining of the transfer market, and yeah, we'll talk about this. We've got great news, we've got positive vibes. Mancini just renewed his contract, so like the live stream right now, let's smash 15 likes because Mancini has renewed his contract, and it is very good news for us. Now, I wanna start off by talking as Mancini, what sort of player he is, because Mancini is one of those defenders, one of the many defenders Roma has, which is young and is not experienced at all. Obviously, he came to Roma after being an Atalanta player. He was an Atalanta player about 5 years ago, and he was very young at Atalanta. Roma managed to buy him, and now he's a big part of this project. But he is one of the defenders. I'd say he's the second most experienced defender. He's definitely not the first, but he's very young. He kind of relies a lot on Smalling, and when Smalling plays and Mancini plays, then good stuff appears. Mancini is someone who's not that experienced, who's very young, has massive potentials, and over the course of this season, we have seen that he relies a lot on Smalling, and Smalling is a big player for him. Mancini is one of those players which I think, we've got, how many Roma, we've got, let's say Mourinho has got, let's say he's got 25 players he can choose from. I would say Mancini is probably one of the few players which actually love Roma, if you see what I mean, which have Roma in their hearts. He is our vice captain, obviously, after Pellegrini, and he loves Roma, and he's one of the players, as you probably realized over the course of this first half of the season, which fights and fights and fights. He's a very aggressive player, just what Mourinho wants. The perfect image of this is the image you can see on the thumbnail. He is a warrior. He's one of the few warriors I'd say we have on the pitch. One of those players which fights until the very last whistle, which is aggressive, which and I think this is what characterizes Mancini in a way. I think Mancini has been a Roma player since 4 or 5 years now. He's young. He's got incredible potentials. Over the course of his experience at Roma, he has also been called up by Mancini in the Italian national team. And I would also say that Mancini is extremely loyal to this team. And he cares. He's just, I feel like there are aspects which I think tell us there's, images and, just his character, I think, should be the captain of AS Roma. I think Pellegrini is the captain right now. Pellegrini is from Rome, supports Rome. He wants to be the new Totti. He's the captain right now. But when it comes to the character these two players have, Mancini is just that captain which we all want. Something to say is that Mancini has been absolutely incredibly loyal to this team. He's one of the players which wants to help the team even in the toughest of moments. I remember, and I still hadn't started the channel back then, but I remember, and this is definitely something to look at, because Mancini is such a someone who loves this club and wants to improve this club, wants to improve the situations between rough situations, and he's just the central figure of many other players. And I remember that once, it was last year, basically it was a very complicated situation in Rome. We had Dzeko, who had continuous and constant disagreements with Fonseca. And Fonseca barely ever, over the course of 3 months, barely ever played Dzeko. Now, all the players know that Dzeko made the difference, and, they all knew that without Dzeko, this team wouldn't work. And, when Fonseca re-allowed Dzeko to get back playing, Dzeko wasn't interested to play for Roma anymore. And Mancini, every single match Dzeko played and, made his return after the disagreements with Fonseca, Mancini was always the first player to go to Dzeko and say, you are a Roma player. Fight for this club, Until you play for Roma, fight. If you want to leave, you will, you will have your chances. You will leave. But right now, fight. He has been extremely loyal, because Roma is a club which has gone through very tough situations, when it comes to, just internally, when it comes to managers, disagreements with managers, when it comes to just bad results, because Roma has just basically every season a bad result comes. This season it was Bodo Glimt. Last season it was Man United at Old Trafford. Mancini has always been there. And, there are a lot of players which, after all of these bad results, just say, oh yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna leave. This club is just, oh god, it's just nuts. Mancini has always been there. And if in 10 years he were to leave Roma, I would still admire him in my heart, because he fought and he would just, you can see from his character that he absolutely loves this team. So we've got great news. Mancini has renewed his contract until 2027, which is quite a long while. So we've got a big defender, and over the course of 2022 to 2027, it will be his peak. It will be the time period where he will grow more, where he grab the experience. So we've got him, and that is absolute positive news. Now, I want to talk about Zaniolo for a second, because right now that obviously some players are not leaving Roma, which doesn't allow Thiago Pinto to buy other players. Thiago Pinto in these moments is focusing on renewing some contracts. He renews Mancini's contract today. The next objective is Zaniolo. Now we have got good news as well, because many journalists say that there's optimism going through between Thiago Pinto, Zaniolo and his agents. As I already told you guys before, Zaniolo wants an increase in his wages. And obviously Roma, not being a financial superpower of football, can, in some cases can accept these offers from players. But in many cases they just need to say no. Because, Zaniolo wants an increase in their wages. And, for a club like Roma, some players no. Zaniolo, I feel like in these last couple of weeks, is grinding more and more. And Zaniolo, once again, is another player which absolutely loves this team. The fans absolutely adore him. In fact, I would say Zaniolo is the player the fans love the most right now at Roma. You can probably see this from the vlogs I filmed at the stadium. Every time the speaker announces Zaniolo, the entire stadium just a standing ovation. So, next objective to renew the contract is Zaniolo. They're trying to convince Zaniolo. They're trying to get a balance. They will increase his wages, but not as much as he wants to. And, journalists are saying, Sky Sports, which is, it's reliable, are saying that there's optimism circulating in the air between his agent Zaniolo and Thiago Pinto, which possibly means that Zaniolo will renew his contract over the course of the next couple of months. And it's great, because he's young, he's got a massive potentials. So we've got massive news today. We've got massive news. Smash the like button, because we've got massive news. So get 20 likes by the end of the stream. 15 likes by the end of the stream, because it's positive vibe day today. Mancini renewed his contract, optimism with Zaniolo. And now most people are probably wondering, transfer market news, because it is obviously the most. By the way, I checked and the transfer market does end on Monday. So we have got. Ow! I just bit my tongue. Ah! Oh, I just bit my tongue. Ow. Right, what I was saying is, most of you guys are wondering about the transfer market. And I have checked, and the transfer market does end on Monday, which basically means that we have got today, these last hours of today, of the 29th of January, and tomorrow. Do I really think we will buy another player? No. Because it's just too late. I personally don't think Diawara will leave in these last couple of days. It's too rushed. Roma are interested in players. We know this. We know that they want to buy. Oh my God, I can feel it. It still hurts. We know that. Sorry, lads. We know that Thiago Pinto is interested to buying a new defensive midfielder, and we talked about this before. The three names: Ndombele, Xhaka, and Danilo Pereira. We've got breaking news from Arsenal, because Arsenal have announced that Xhaka will not leave in January. He will leave in June, most probably, but he will not leave in January. So we can kind of exclude Xhaka from this run-up. And we've got also breaking news from Ndombele, because Valencia, PSG have said no, they don't want to buy Ndombele anymore. So it's a big fight between us and Valencia. Do I really think it will happen? I really don't think so. I think we will have to wait until the end of the season in the summer. Well, a few players will join Roma, which is good, because right now Darboy just got eliminated from the AFCON, right? These two players being back, I would give them forget about Darboy. Diawara, I would give another chance. I have a feeling Diawara has something to show us that he hasn't already shown. That he hasn't he's just hiding something in his heart, and I think he needs another chance. Because if Diawara Mourinho was to give another chance to Diawara and absolutely explode, be the new Kante, for example, then I don't think Diawara will leave, which absolutely, revolts AS Roma's transfer market. Right now, as I said, I always say this, if we want to hope in another player in these last 24 hours, basically, we need Diawara to leave. And do I think Diawara will leave in 24 hours? I really don't think so. So I think everything will be shifted to June, which means that Mourinho can give another chance to some players. For example, if we were to face Rangers in the Europa Conference League, Danish club which I've never heard of, I would give Diawara another chance. I'm not saying underestimating that match, because we all know what happened with Bodo Glimt. But I would give him another chance. So Roma is planning to sell him. He's convinced himself he's gonna leave Roma. But I would give him another chance. And if this chance just pops up, he becomes a completely new player, then I can see Mourinho just completely forgetting about selling Diawara and keeping him. So, we don't have big news about transfer market today. Tomorrow will be the last live stream of transfer market, if anything happened in these last hours, if Thiago Pinto is active in these last hours. So, we'll just need to wait. Also, I'm just really buzzing about Mancini, and I'm really, really happy, and I think every Roma fan should be happy, because we have consolidated a defender. It's not something which always happens. Mancini was interested. Big clubs were interested in him. I know Juventus were interested in him. He said no. He wants to fight for this team. He wants to win with this team. He's loyal to this team, and he's a warrior, as you can see from the thumbnail, because he is. He's probably one of the most aggressive players, if not the most aggressive player at Roma. So yeah, he renewed his contract until 2027. Next objective is indeed Zaniolo. Optimism is circulating, around his agents and Thiago Pinto, but still, we need to convince Zaniolo to, yes, maybe an increase in his wages, but not as much as he asks. And if he renews his contract, if Mancini renews his contract, then we have got a good team, to continue, the end of the season, obviously, but also to continue for the future of Roma, because these two players are extremely young and will mark the future of Roma if they will renew their contract. If Zaniolo doesn't renew his contract, I highly think he will leave in the summer. If Zaniolo can't find an agreement because he wants and he's asking too much money, I'm sorry, but he will need to leave this summer. And quite a lot of money we'll get from that if we sell Zaniolo. So big players might come. Who knows? But I'm definitely pro Zaniolo. I definitely renew his contract because he's a talent. He's got potentials, and I'm very buzzing about Mancini. Right, I'm reading some comments now. Juventus buying their way into the top four, but them, says Dear Gigani. I agree. Juventus have now a very big team, and they will definitely now be a contender for the Champions League. But I think, and this is just my opinion. I might be random speaking. I have a feeling that this Vlahovic is the best player in the Serie A. I mean, at Fiorentina this season, he showed us that he is one of, if not him, it's between him and Barella for me, which are the best players in this area. I think his arrival has been very overhyped. He came, the fans were there, he got the number 7, giving Ronaldo vibes back to Juventus fans. I feel like the entire situation is being overhyped. Because I have a small feeling inside me that Vlahovic is one of those players which is unbelievable with small clubs like Fiorentina and scores God how many goals. But as soon as he steps up in a bigger club, I can see him flopping. I'm probably wrong because he knows this area very well, but it will take him time to adapt. So, I don't know. Obviously, if we were Juventus fans, we'll be absolutely buzzing. But at the same time, I feel like they're overhyping. I might be saying random stuff. I just have a small feeling in my heart he'll flop. Because he's one of those players who's great with small clubs. Just like, a good example of this what's his name again? What's his name? Right. Can't get it over. If it pops up, I'll say. But there's definitely another player out there, which is... right, an example of this, yes, is Ward-Prowse from Southampton. I feel like Ward-Prowse, right now at Southampton, is one of the best football players in the Premier League. His right foot is magical. But he's one of those players which is so now adapted to a small club like Southampton that if a big club approaches him, he will flop. And, I feel like the same situation with Vlahovic might go on. I might be just speaking absolute random stuff, but who knows? I might be right. So yeah, that's what I think. But obviously, I'm obviously a bit jealous because Vlahovic is unbelievable. Mancini is a true warrior indeed. Is it true that the Fredkins told Pinto to hold the Verity contract renewal talks? I'm not too sure about the Fredkins talking to Pinto about it, but definitely if Verity keeps on playing like this, I would definitely not renew his contract because I know big clubs are interested in him and big clubs are disposed of paying quite a lot of money for Verity, which in the summer we could buy better players from. I know Tottenham are interested in him and they're ready to offer 35 to 40 million, which I would absolutely take at the end of the season for Verity. My lineup is at 4-3-3, Patricio, Korzov, Smalling, Ibanez, Spinazzola. Mescobar doesn't like Mancini, I assume. I think. Loan Diawara out and loan Dombele in or Nahid Hernandez. That's what Thiago Pinto is thinking about in these last hours. Loaning Diawara out and loaning a player in. And then yeah. Put Mancini on Vlahovic and he won't touch the ball. I think Juve will ruin Vlahovic's form. Yeah, you see, that's what I think as well. Juve to defensive for Vlahovic. Hazard, nah. Lads, forget about Hazard. It is not happening. Ancelotti said he's a big part of Real Madrid, so it's too high wages. It won't happen. It won't happen. Unless we get, owners like Newcastle, then it's not gonna happen. Pepe. Simon do a series called The Hunt for Shimurodov where you go around Roma and try find him. I should. If I meet Shimurodov, I can just end my life. Life objective achieved. Ward-Prowse is average at defending and attacking, no comparison, set piece merchant. Right, lads, I'll catch you tomorrow for another live stream towards the conclusion of the transfer market. If anything happens in these last few hours, of the transfer market. So subscribe if you're new. Please subscribe. Get this channel to 2,000 subscribers. Share the link with your families and friends, and subscribe to my second channel as well, which is all about travel. I posted my first travel vlog back when I was in France this summer. Check it out. It took me quite a while to edit, so link is in the description below. It should be. So smash the like button on that video and subscribe to that channel if you are new. Like this live stream as soon as it becomes a video, and you know what? In the comments, as soon as it becomes a video, comment hashtag Mancini is a legend. And follow me on Instagram at @LauraScore this Simon Show, and I'll catch you tomorrow morning up the Rafa Nadal.